Hey everyone, and welcome to the RDG Sports Channel with your boy RDG. We are in the building. I'd like to appreciate all the new subscribers. Just subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you guys. We're nothing without you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you just want to watch the video and decide whether you want to like and subscribe at the end of the video, feel free. But anyway, let's get down to the nitty gritty. To the nitty gritty, baby. Last night's draft is it wasn't particularly the way I thought it was going to go. Like some of these guys, like Jeremiah Love, I didn't think that he would make it to the Cardinals. I thought he would go to the Titans or the Jets. That's just my opinion. Arvell Reese was a surprise. I thought our pick, Sonny Styles, would go a little bit early. I didn't project him to go. I was surprised by Cornell Tate, Tennessee Titans drafting Cornell Tate. I thought he was going to slip to us. I really wanted him or Jeremiah Love. Those my picks, my two picks that I had wanted. But let me say this: I didn't watch a whole lot of Sonny Styles, but I watched his highlights, and I looked at all his traits and characteristics and stuff like that, and I listened to a lot of the analysts talk about him, and I was intrigued, by this guy, which made me excited a little bit. This guy is fast, and to pair him up with our linebackers that we already have is super fast. We may have the most athletic linebacking core in the NFL right now. All the guys are young, you got Reese, you got Sonny Styles, and then you got the guy we got from Kansas City Chiefs, and then you can throw Louisville in there. Louisville is quick. He's a little bit older than those guys, but he's quick. So we got a fast core of linebackers, and I'm really excited about that. But Dallas Cowboys got Caleb Downs. I wouldn't mind having Caleb also. Not Caleb Williams, Caleb Downs. Shout out to Caleb Williams, though, man. It goes back to when we drafted Jaden Daniels, man. It's just a little inside thing. Caleb Williams, I know you're from DMV. If somehow you get whiff of this video, man, no shot at you, man. No hate, no shade, man. But anyway, Caleb Downs, another Ohio State guy. I really wanted us to really, that he would have been my third choice. Once again, Jeremiah Love's my top, Cornell Tate, and then you can go in and throw in Caleb Downs. And Sonny Styles really wasn't on my radar. You know what I'm saying? He really wasn't, because I wasn't thinking about linebacker, because I thought we already show up the linebacker position, but it does not hurt to add what they call a generational talent player in the mix. If you can add something like that, then you're pretty much saying something, and you pretty much got a blue chip player. So adding speed to the defense is never, because at the end of the day, we all know, and the old time saying is, defense win championships. Offense put butt in the seats. Offense score points, but defense win championships. Because when it's said and done, you got to stop the team. When you make it to the Super Bowl, you got to be a good defense, a great defense, in order to stop a high-powered offense. We saying that time and time again. I remember in '91 when the Washington Redskins, and they was the underdogs going in the Super Bowl, despite the legendary season that we had, the all-time great season that the '91 Skins had. They were still underdogs in that Super Bowl because of the firepower that the Buffalo Bills had on offense. And that defense put the clamps on that Buffalo Bills offense. So if you don't have a great defense, it means nothing to have a hell of an offense. Even that Rams team, that the greatest show on turf, they had a defense. Every Super Bowl winning team had a defense. They was well balanced. You don't win a championship without being well balanced. So with that being said, Sonny Styles was absolutely a great pick. Let's look at some of his characteristics here, his traits and stuff. He's an elite versatility and athleticism. Let's see, possesses unicorn traits with safety-like movement in a linebacker's body, enabling him to cover slot, tight ends, and excel in man or zone coverage. And we desperately needed that because last year our linebackers couldn't cover anything. And shout out to Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner in his heyday was spectacular. That's why he's getting the gold jacket. But Father Time caught up with him, and it has slowed him down, and it changed his game the way he played. He still was slightly effective out there last year, but not like he was the year before last when we went on that great run to the NFC Championship game and eventually lose to the Philadelphia Eagles. But Bobby Wagner, I thought he played lights out his first season with us. The second season, he just didn't have it. And so getting those linebackers in here that's athletic and fast, along with Sonny Styles, I think is going to pay dividends. And we need a guy that can cover those tight ends and running backs. And then he also plays safety. So if need be, we can have a three linebacker set with Sonny Styles playing. So we can have a actual four linebacker set. I'm sorry. And move him because his versatility, he could be like a hybrid. Move him in that safety spot. And we can, and we'll be fast out there. It won't take away the speed. You know what I'm saying? It won't take away the production. I think because he had that experience playing safety, you mesh him in with, a little bit of safety, a little bit of linebacker. Teams they wouldn't know how to prepare. We had three safeties out there at the same time. But they would be thinking that we had four linebackers out there at the same time. So you could do a lot of things with this guy. You can have a one linebacker set and have him playing in the safety. You can go when you got one of them teams that got a lot of speed out there and they versatile on offense, and also you can match up very well with them. You could put more more secondary people in there, but you still can use him as a safety / linebacker. There's so many ways you can go, so many options. So that made me excited just by talking about that just now, because I'd never thought about that. I'm just freestyling right now. Physical run defense. Plays downhill with tremendous speed and physicality, using long arms to shed blockers and violently overwhelm ball carriers. Again, we need that thumper. We was missing that thumper. Bobby Wagner, like I said, he lost a step. He didn't have that thump like he did when in his younger days in Seattle. And so if this guy can bring that heat, man, that thump to those running backs, you know what I'm saying? Pop that ball out, call some turnovers, beat them to the point of attack, shed those blocks on the offensive line, beat disruptive in that backfield. That's what we was missing. That's what we needed. Exceptional tackler. Rarely misses tackles, 0% miss rate noted in some scoutings. A 92.2 PFF grade. Man, that's exceptional, man. That really is exceptional. And I tell you what, tackling was our biggest nemesis also. We had so many missed tackles last year. It was ridiculous. I slammed my hat. Anything I get my hands on, I slammed it down so many times out of frustration because these guys let a potential fourth down conversion go because of missed tackles. A third and long because of missed tackles. A third and short because of missed. It was so many times, man, that we gave up huge chunks of yardage because the missed tackles. Those guys had more yak yardage. If they just wrap up, get the guy to the ground, it would limit those options of them continue to drive down the field and wore that defense out. We was already old last year, and that helped wore the defense out because we couldn't get nobody off the field because of missed tackles and lack of turnovers. High football IQ, quickly diagnose plays, takes ideal angles to the ball, and possesses strong situational awareness. Now, in order to be a great middle linebacker, you got to have a high IQ. It's the quarterback of the defense. Everybody knows that. You got the green dot on the back of the helmet. You got to be exceptional. You got to be smart. Your IQ got to be at a high level to be a Ray Lewis type of linebacker, a London Fletcher type of linebacker, a Mike Singletary type of linebacker. You guys get the gist of what I'm saying. You cannot be what we got, the guy, can't get his name. Jenkins was Jameson. Ron Rivera drafted that guy out of Kentucky. It's no shot at him. He didn't ask to be here. He didn't ask, he was a developmental guy. They should have set him. But Ron Rivera thought he knows best. But anyway, um, that type. I lost train of thought of what I'm saying, but no, I got it. I got it back. That type of player right there gotta have a high IQ. If you don't have a high IQ, you're not suitable to play linebacker. What's good is having athleticism if you don't know where to line up on the field and how to line everybody else up. How to make mid game adjustments when you're playing that chess match against one of the great quarterbacks in the league. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to play a good chess match with the quarterbacks. You got to be on the same page with your defense. You got to get everybody properly lined up. If you can't do those things, you can't play middle linebacker. And you got to be a sure end tackler, what they say this guy is. And you got to be an exceptional athlete, which they say this guy is. So, we'll see. Coverage skills. Fluid in his back pedal and hip transition, allowing him to mirror tight ends and running backs downfield or in the flex. Like I said, that was huge for us. I already reiterated. We needed people that can cover tight ends and running backs. It's no secret. We didn't have that. And so now picking up a guy like this and the guy from Kansas City, it helps out a lot. So I'm just excited, man. It's no holds barred on the potential and the ceiling that this guy can elevate himself to. Okay, unused blitz potential. Displays high-end quickness and power as a blitzer with potential for increased production in that area. Now, I was watching some of the shows, the analysts speaking. I forgot the guy's name. He spoke and he said that the only thing that concerned him was he only had one sack last year. They didn't utilize him because they had Arvell Reese is doing those type of things. He was like the Louvu of that defense, Arvell Reese that is. And Sonny Styles was more like the guy that get everybody lined up and was just making plays all over the field. You know what I'm saying? They didn't utilize him specifically to blitz the quarterback. That wasn't what they called. That wasn't what they called for from him. So to say that this guy his sack production was down low, that he couldn't be a great sack guy is ludicrous. It just depends on how they use him. Leadership and intangibles. A team leader and captain with a high upside makeup. They said he got great leadership. He was the captain of the team and stuff like that. He was voted the most important player on the team. So when you're voted highly like that by your peers, that's saying a lot. So hopefully now that Bobby Wagner departed, this guy can take on a leadership role right away, quickly, because we need that. We need that guy to step in and take on that leadership role and anchor the defense. So I'm excited, man. It's so much stuff to talk about with this guy, but I like the training camp, preseason, stuff like that do the talking for me. He's got all the intangibles, like I just read all of them out. I talked highly of him so far. The analyst talks highly of him. Even Michael Parsons was interviewing him and was giving him advice about how to, deal with Dan Quinn, because him and Dan Quinn still has a great relationship to this day. And he was just telling him Dan Quinn is still like a father figure to him. So he was like, just gravitate towards Dan Quinn. He was just Michael Parsons just giving him just, player-to-player advice. So it seemed like this guy is well respected, already. So I can't wait to see this guy in action and see what he can do and how can he produce and how can he help this football team. If you watched him in the NFL draft, the way he was real somber, like he wasn't excited. But then when you hear him talk about us, he told Dan Quinn that I'll be back, and Dan Quinn said, we'll see, So that right there let me know that he really wanted to come in. He said it told his parents, I got a feeling Washington's going to draft me. Sure enough, he talked to existence, and here we are. Sonny Styles, middle linebacker, and you're a part of this team now. I'm rocking and riding with you, brother. Anyway, that's the conclusion of my video, and I thank you guys for tuning in. Until the next one, peace.